Hi, everybody. I'm Trisha.
And I'm Bryony, and we are sitting together at my kitchen table.
We are.
We just had a lovely lunch together, and we've just been talking about gloriously ordinary language and where it all came from, how it all started. And we also realised that we can't really remember how we met. We know Social Care Future are responsible, but yeah, we can't really remember.
No, I think there was gatherings that you couldn't get to that I came to, and eventually we were in rooms together, but we just can't remember. But anyway, we're going to just tell the story that Social Care Future was how we met.
Yeah, and we kind of think that we were probably separated at birth. We feel like we've known each other forever, because we've got an awful lot of things in common.
We certainly have. Left-handed.
Yes.
Cats are the most important animal.
Obviously.
Just
talking about obviously all the time. There's so many things that we say, and the other one of us will say obviously.
Yeah.
So what else? Sea, swimming, being outside, sunshine, all of that kind of thing. Eating lovely veggie food, really colourful food.
Definitely. And then most importantly, we both have a slight obsession with language.
Yeah, so that's for me, that really started. Well, my background's in information and communications, so I've worked in local authority adult social care for around 20 years. That's a long time, isn't it? And I remember when I first started working in adult social care, I didn't know anything about adult social care to start with, and it did feel like I had to learn a totally new language, and I felt like I had to use that language as well to kind of fit in and to do the job and sort of do what I was expected to do in that job. And then over time I kind of began to feel sort of really uncomfortable about this language that I felt that I had to use, and just the way that I felt we collectively were communicating about adult social care, about people, about families, all of this just totally kind of different alien language, I suppose, that just felt wrong, and I couldn't quite understand why it felt wrong, so I felt like I needed to write about it.
That's how you process, isn't it?
Yeah,
you process by writing.
Yeah, absolutely. So then I started my blog called Rewriting Social Care, which was really trying to unpick specific words, so what I call the words that make me go to really understand, why are these words wrong? Why do they feel sort of wrong, or just feel like they're not ordinary everyday words? So yeah, that's kind of how I got into all of this world, really, and then kind of ever since then I've been really working to challenge and change language and practice, all in relation to adult social care.
Fab. And I guess mine was a slightly different route, in that I guess the first time I really got aware of language was when it was being written about me. And that was my early experiences from being in my 20s, 30s, early 40s in the mental health system. And all the words that were how the system talked about me, the words they used about me, the things they wrote about me. I think what I realised, and I've only realised this with hindsight, is that the things that were written about me, kind of I became that person. I became the person they thought I was, which is just awful, really, isn't it? It's terrible. And then, as Bryony knows, my kids came to me, not from me. So because the kids that I got, my kids were part of the care system, and they're also autistic and will be described as having a learning disability, they had a whole bunch of stuff written about them that massively impacted those early experiences they had, and what the system kind of thought was acceptable, was okay. And I guess that's where my thinking started developing around being really clear that we wanted to change that and to help them to have great lives, or then, as that became, ordinary lives, and then gloriously ordinary lives. But that's another story.
Yeah, check out the website to find out more. Definitely. Yeah. Google Gloriously Ordinary Lives.
Thank you. Good plug. But I guess the important bit is, though, out of the Glorious Ordinary Life test is the test 2, isn't it? And that's the link to this. And test 2 is all about the test of, would I use that language around my kitchen table with my family, or at the cafe or pub with my mates? And that's kind of that's the test 2 of Gloriously Ordinary Lives.
Yeah, and then with the whole idea for Gloriously Ordinary Language came about, I really remember I was walking to the station one day in the morning, and just thinking about language, as I do a lot, and thinking about the idea of Gloriously Ordinary Language. And I remember sending you a message,
yep,
and just saying, what do you think about Gloriously Ordinary Language? And I think you replied, just Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. I can remember getting the text. We were just looking at it. Well, yeah, we got the text there, and just going, yeah, absolutely perfect. And I think, what do we want it to be? We wanted it to be a kind of a chance to bring people together. We didn't even know the who back then, did we? We just wanted a chance to kind of give people the chance to come together and explore the power and the impact of language. And we've gone back to this phrase. I know that everybody watching this will have heard it, that idea of sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. And it's just rubbish, isn't it? It's just absolute rubbish. And we've talked about this loads, about how, yeah, words don't matter, yeah, they really do. And they matter to absolutely all of us, because we're human beings and words affect us. So that's what we wanted the program of Glorious Ordinary Language to explore, was this idea of the impact of language on us and how labels stick.
Yeah, and I think there's kind of two sides, aren't there? So there's that sort of label sticking to people, and that shaping the way that we see people, and people see themselves, and all the things around that. But also that kind of wider narrative and the kind of the words and the language that we use that does really shape people's expectations, people's experiences as well of adult social care, of people who might be drawing on support, all of that kind of bigger picture stuff as well. So we wanted to really explore both of those things. And we also, really conscious about just how often language does put people into boxes. And so we are sort of really clear that we're kind of talking more generally about ordinary everyday language
and people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rather than segmenting people into boxes, and that sort of segmentation then often drives what happens to people, I think. So very deliberately we're talking about people's experiences, so we're thinking more generally about
we do drive people crazy with that, don't we? So that's that program. That's what the program is also really about. And also I think the important thing as we've developed the program is that it's more than about social care, isn't it?
Yeah.
That it's actually that idea of exploring how the importance of language just goes beyond this thing we call social care, which is made up anyway, isn't it? Into kind of that wider stuff that we all experience in terms of how we live, where we live, places we hang out, all the different bits of the jigsaw that might touch our lives in terms of creating our gloriously ordinary life. So yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah. So I think just back to the actual programme, how it all works.
Give people some details, yes.
So it's very much about, we wanted it to be really practical. So we wanted it to, we are obviously going to cover lots of kind of theory, context, background, examples of the sort of the narrative at the moment, the way people talk about people, the way we talk about adult social care generally. But what we really wanted to do was make some practical changes. So the people who are part of the programme feel that they're not just kind of learning theory, but they have that time and space and challenge and curiosity. Really, I think curiosity is. We love the word curiosity. Yeah. It's something that we really want to create, that space for people to be curious and to think, why are we using these words?
Yeah.
Where do they come from, and what do they kind of reflect and shape in terms of attitudes and behaviours, power dynamics, all of that kind of thing. So it's having that space, having that time to really talk with us, listen, chat with each other, everybody on the programme, so you're really getting that picture of why language matters, why it's important.
And I think the other thing that I'm dead excited about is the idea that we're starting a bit of a movement, aren't we? So everybody who joins Gloriously Ordinary Language as a programme is making a decision with our support to say, we're kind of putting our head above the parapet and going, we're not going to be part of this anymore. We're not wanting to use dehumanising language. We're not wanting to use that othering language that puts people into boxes. And I'm just think it's really exciting where that could lead us. And, the sky's the limit, isn't it, in terms of where that might lead, in terms of people just thinking differently about the language they use and how people are thought about, talked about, written about in every way, shape or form.
Absolutely. So as you can probably tell, we're both very excited about this programme. Really excited. We will be chatting. So we are chatting. We will be chatting about what we're doing, what we're up to, our ideas, sharing thoughts on social media. Really, LinkedIn is our kind of...
It's our preferred option.
Preferred option of choice. And also a bit on Blue Sky. Just get in touch with us if you're interested and you'd like to kind of chat or you want to know more.
Brilliant. Will that do you think?
I think so.
Excellent.